This is a Dancing Stickman production. Content warning. This series contains potentially upsetting themes, including mind control, harm to children and animals, and death. White. You find yourself in a blank, white space. You know this place now. You see the familiar streaming white tendrils of fog, curling and weaving themselves together and apart into an incorporeal mist. The last time you were in this place, you chose to move toward the sound of pain. You don't hear any such thing this time, just the heavy quiet and the sound of what could be a distant breeze. The quiet here is almost oppressive. It looms over you. You can feel its weight settling on top of you, pressing the cool mist into your flesh. But then you see in the near distance, in a delayed reaction, a 6-foot-wide column of mist displaces downward in a whoosh as a massive pillar rises from the ground behind it. As the haze temporarily clears, you see the pillar hinging at a joint 30 feet above you. It's covered in thin, feather-like hairs, each as long as you are tall. And as the pillar moves up, 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 you get the impression of 2 wicked claws curving downward from the end of it. And whoosh, boom! The displacement of mist as this leg, it's the leg of some enormous inhuman thing, it must be, as this leg settles down nearer to you, and whoosh, as another leg to your other side picks itself up. Whoosh, as a third leg in the far distance rises too. A third leg, this creature has too many legs, and it is around you and above you and coming towards you, and you bolt, shrieking, wrenching pain. As you lunge forward and attempt to run, at the exact same moment, something at both the left and right sides of your back attempt to do the same, pulling you in 3 different directions and keeping you in place. You scream as your fused flesh tears at itself, and you hear the sound of each other's voices. Your scream turns into a deep moan as you realize you are sharing a spinal column with each other, a pillar of your own that doesn't know which direction it wants to go. And as you freeze, unable to move forward because you pull with equal painful force against yourselves, that weight above you whooshes the mist in your immediate vicinity outward as it drops to meet you, and you look up, screaming into many massive, glittering black eyes. And boom! As a crash of thunder wakes you up.
Okay, Cronenberg. Yes.
So the 3 of you awake, and then you remember where you are because your bodies are pitching wildly back and forth. You are on a ship. It is a not very big ship. You're close to the galley and you're laying in hammocks, and clearly a thunderstorm has started because everything is in motion. You are near the galley of the Weird Sister, WYRD. It's a small cargo vessel that Liev got you onto as you left Rovigo. As the storm that had not started before you went to sleep, as it rages around you, you hear in the distance the song of Captain's Song as she sings to the wind, navigating her little vessel through the rocky shores around the island of Hadari in the Nora Bay. The 3 of you wake up at the same time. So, Ofelia, we know you've been on a boat, but I don't know if you've been on a boat like this.
No, definitely not.
And Emmett and Naya, how about you guys? Yeah, how y'all feeling? How are you feeling about boats before and after this storm is what I'm interested in.
It's just so different from being on land. Emmett has no sea legs and is probably a little bit sick, just a little bit. She is just kind of like dizzy, and before she was like, okay, oh, cool, how interesting. And then she got on the boat, and then there's the storm, and now she's like, I'm not having a good time at all.
Please give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, Constitution saving throw. Normal. Oh, that's 18.
You don't barf. You hold it down.
Yo.
Dang.
It comes right up to the top of your throat, but you get that back down in your stomach.
Oh gosh.
I think Naya is excited She likes the idea of boats because of just the stories that people have told about being on boats and going to places and coming from places. So she's probably a little disappointed about this boat, but imagines that there are different types of boats that she could travel on. She doesn't have sea legs, but you know how sometimes you're on a bus and you're doing like bus surfing? I think she's attempting to gain sea legs. She doesn't really know what sea legs are, but she's thinking that if it's just being able to stand up on a rocking boat, she might be a little nauseous, but she might be trying to like figure this all out. Since she hangs out in trees and climbs stuff, she's like trying to do her dexterity thing. It might be working out.
Surely you can do this too, you know?
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
You are a capable person.
I am so capable.
You can boat. You can do boat.
I can boat.
Ophelia, though she does not have experience with a bigger ship like this, I think her time constantly being in boats has given her a sense of balance. So despite the storm, it's definitely uncomfortable, but I don't think Ophelia feels too ill at ease on it. I think she's all right. Just the storm is definitely rocky and she's not enjoying that aspect, or the fact that she has to sleep on the ship. But in some aspects, I think she finds it somewhat, even maybe a little bit comforting because it reminds her of home.
As you all awake and resettle yourselves into where you actually physically are, you hear the captain just cackling madly outside. The rest of the crew is out there. They are rigging the mainsail and trimming the top line and sailor terms. Doing sailor things. But you've clearly entered into the area around Hadari where the storms are constant. So Song is someone who Liev knows and who is well known for evading the notice of the military around the Bay of Nora because she's so talented at slipping into and out of Hadari, which is nigh unnavigable. She has taken you under her wing to deliver you to a cave that's pretty familiar to her that she hangs out on at Hadari as you are to go about your business. But as you're coming to, you remember again now that, wait, Liev's not with you anymore. You're doing this on your own. He got you to Rovigo. It's a small harbor town inside of the bay where he sent word to Song, apparently a friend of his, and arranged for her to transport you into Hadari. And it had been his intention to come with you. But one night while you were in the inn, you did get to sleep in an inn at least, so everybody got to take a bath and eat nice food. After you're traveling through the Apocti Deepwoods and back around and trying to avoid the military garrison and some of the towns that ring the bay, you guys had a chance to sleep in beds, take showers, eat hot meals. It was nice. But he explained to you, he said that Uneza had set him to scrying after a priest in Tuvold. His name is Vice Chancellor Cade Collis.
Vice Chancellor, what was it again?
Cade Collis, Cadecaulis.
Collis.
That's a great name. Can't wait to punch that man in the face.
Did you say BBEG?
So, just to clarify, Liev is scrying on Vice Chancellor Cade Collis.
Yes, Uneza had asked him to. Because Liev, he holds an item similar to Igern's Helm of Teleportation, similar to Uneza's Athame of Mutability. He holds a Stone of Farsight with which he can watch anyone or anything from a distance. And Uneza, after having received word that there was a priest in Tuvold for them to look into, had asked Liev to do this for her. As he was showing you, it's just a small, clear crystal. It's a perfectly shaped orb as he holds it when he does. You've seen him scry a few times now. It looks like meditation. He just goes quiet and distant for a moment and then comes back. But he said that as he was looking into Collis, he heard conversations about Hadari that prompted him to try to scry there to see what was going on. But for some reason, the storms around Hadari prevented him from seeing into the island and what was happening.
Oh?
That was the warning that he sent Uneza. The little note with a leaf, that was from him. He had been attempting to pierce Hadari's veil of storms, but could not see into it, and he tried to warn Uneza. But now that Igern has gone missing with that hunter that you saw, he's trying to find her too. Every night as you've been traveling with him, he's been attempting to look into 3 places at once, and he is exhausted. He explains to you that what Yuneza told him as you were leaving Clawtip, not what she told him, but what he saw in her dreams. He saw her crying out in warning to Igern, and he felt her struggling. He described it almost as if she was struggling against the inside of her skin. So when you get to Rovigo and he has a chance to sit down, you guys had went and gotten your meal and come back up to the room you're all sharing, and you find him with his stone, meditating. He opens his eyes suddenly and he says, I found her. I found Igern.
Where is she?
Is she okay?
She's in, I can't tell because someone saw me and I had to blink out fast. Someone sensed my presence there, but she was in the Ecclesia de Ordo. She was in the church. She was at the shrine. She's in Tuvold. She was in a tremendous amount of pain, and I don't know if it was emotional or physical pain, but whatever it was wrenching. And Yuneza told me to warn her. I have to go find her.
Don't you think it's too late? If she was already at the church, doesn't that mean that she was taken?
Absolutely. She can't be warned.
But she's not dead, and them having her at the Shrine of Order, her the keeper of the Shrine of Order, I am extremely worried about what it is that they are attempting to do there with her. He says, I'm so sorry, but I cannot be in all of these places at once. And whatever is happening in Tuvold, whatever Collis is doing, and whatever he needs Igern for, I have to go and I have to try and get her back before she's under his control, or I can't leave her there.
Liev, I think this is exactly what the Vice Chancellor wants.
Correct.
He's trying to catch all these witches, and if you go, you are our last support. If you go and Tyos forbid you get taken, then we would be left alone. I highly reason against this.
Do not go, Liev. Do not go. You cannot take down an entire church. If is Igern's trapped there right now? What are you going to be able to do? We need to finish this mission. We need to figure out what's happening at the Shrine of Chaos.
When you say that, he takes a really deep stuttery breath. We saw what was happening at the Shrine of Change. Something else is happening at the Shrine of Chaos and at the Shrine of Order. And I don't know. Igern is a powerful witch, and I don't think they're trying to capture me. And he looks very pointedly at the 3 of you. And I don't know what to do because my attention is in 3 different places at once. But what I do know is that the damage that can be done with the keeper of the shrine at the shrine, especially if she is being compelled against her will, that terrifies me.
I'm just gonna grab Liev's hand and I'm gonna just say, I know there's a strong sense of responsibility, but if I was Igern, I think she would have wanted you to stay with us and help us see to Hadari. If indeed the shrines of both order and change are in danger, then it's all the more reason that we have to protect the shrine of chaos, because if all 3 are destroyed, then that is a cause of great concern.
Correct.
He goes quiet, but then he says to himself, what happens to the world if chaos ends? What happens to the world if order ends? He looks very troubled, and he goes quiet for the rest of the night. And then the next morning when you wake up, he's gone.
I try to message Liev, and I'm going to say, Liev, we are disappointed.
Yeah, we are.
But please be safe. Do not get caught. If Igern is compromised, don't do anything. Come back.
You do not receive a message back.
But I get the feeling it's sent, right? He received it.
Yeah, it's sent for sure.
Okay.
Was it sent? And also, did Liev read the message?
Red.
Was it red? Is it red? I need to know.
What is the magical equivalent of a read notification?
I think just like a sense of acknowledgement of like this has been received.
A little heart gets tapped back.
it's like
Oh my God.
Little thumbs up.
yeah, a little thumbs
Will
up.
do.
He sends message back. There's nothing contained in the message, but you sense that a message was sent back.
Yeah.
Like a mom.
You see a little typing bubble and then it goes
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, exactly.
What you do find after you send that message is the note that he left you. And it says, "I'm so sorry, but I believe that I can see them without them seeing me, and I can find a way to get her out. Go to the port, find Captain Song of the Weird Sister. She will take you to Hidari, and she can help protect you." Upon doing so, upon meeting Captain Song, she was already aware that you would be joining her because she had been communicating with Liev. You meet this woman. She's very tall. She's dressed like a pirate. She just straight up looks like a pirate, but she keeps calling her boat a cargo vessel. She's tan with lots of freckles, lithe, and she's got long red dreadlocks. And Sara Brink, want to say this woman has 4C hair.
Yo, let's go.
It is actually locked.
Let's go.
It's not straight, fine mats. It's actual dreadlocks that she takes care of. She keeps her scalp moisturized. They look good.
Yes, watch that hair.
Nice.
That's right. And then she also braids little bangles and stuff into it that tinkle.
Oh my God,
That's so
it's cute.
Yeah, she's
love it.
super cute. And she's got her little pirate hat too.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Naya considers joining the crew.
She is having so much fun. She has been this whole time. She says, "Welcome aboard the Weird Sister, ladies. And we can put you down by the galley if you want to sleep there. But I have to warn you, it's going to be a little bit of rocky travels on the way to Hidari. So get ready to have some fun."
Are you weird?
She gets down on a knee and gets to your eye level. And she is glaring at you, but she's also smiling. And she raises her eyebrows. She goes, "What do you think?"
Yes.
She rumples your hair and she goes, "That's right, little sister. I am a weird one."
Oh, Emmett loves this lady.
So she's been the one who's been transporting you for the last 4 days.
I will say this though, actually on the day that Liev had left, I think we would have had a moment together where I would have turned to Naya and Emmett and they could see the pure frustration on Ophelia's face. Why do people not listen?
This is a good. I wonder the same thing. I think Naya is less frustrated and just angry because it's like, oh, so he thinks that he can't be seen, even though he just said someone detected a magical presence. What is wrong with men?
I know. I've been there. Sucks.
It's just a good question.
It's just, why do men?
Why do men?
Why do men?
I don't know.
Overconfident.
They're not looking for him, and yet he has given them a reason to now notice who he is and then look for him.
If they're looking for us, then why wouldn't he stay and protect us?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, everybody give me an insight check.
Ooh,
Yo.
insight.
No, Sarah, I don't want an insight check right now.
Got a 7.
Low from Emmett.
I got an 11,
Okay.
which I'm guessing Ophelia is just frustrated.
I think he just hates us.
Come on, Naya. Come on, Naya. Get above an 11.
I'm trying my best. Oh, there it is.
A 12.
I think we're just all frustrated.
You're all frustrated. I think that is a pretty low check, but like I think what stands out to you about Liev, especially you, Ofelia, he's always been kind of a cool demeanor, not really rattled, and he seemed rattled. You can have sympathy or no, but he was rattled.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna shake my head. If anything from this process I have learned since becoming who we are is that it seems like I can only trust you guys.
Me?
Yes, Emmett, you have gotten far better since our last time at Tuvold. I haven't seen you
Aw.
swipe anything once since we've been here, so I think you're at a good pace.
I'm glad you haven't seen me.
The boat lurches and like some potatoes spill out of one of her many pockets.
I was just practicing.
Naya's kind of impressed. She's like, yeah, good job, Emmett.
Thank you.
So while you've been on this boat, Naya, you've had a chance to go over Sadria Ko's book a little bit more.
Yes. Okay, which one am I?
So you had through DC 15, and now DC 20 and 25 should be available to you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The lore, y'all. The lore.
You had time. You had time.
I had time. Wait, let me pop this out. Naya gathers Ofelia and Emmett around, and she pulls out the book that she has been reading for a bit, braiding and binding, and she continues to read to her friends. On the other hand, from gods, humans are bound to the material and are only named by those to whom they are close, but they are intense braidings of hundreds or thousands of smaller strands. In that way, humans are more like the great spirits that are bundles of the strands that comprise them. The complex interactions of drives or spirits are the source power of humans, as well as the gods to whom people have granted their faith and attention. Uneza has heavily underlined Ko's theory that humans are potentially more powerful than gods. She has written amalgamation, eclipse, and trinity in the margins of these pages. Oh my gosh, this is too much knowledge for me right now. As this is above the table. I'm like, wait.
No, I have to think about it.
I know. I'm like, you know who's about to be a problem? This what is his name? Cade.
Cade.
I have to always spell it out, and then I actually have to put how I'm supposed to say it because I'm like, Chad.
That would actually be very relevant. Chancellor Chad.
Like, I go close. I just swoop over the top of it, you know?
Okay. Ko writes that the ether is the plane where gods dwell by necessity. They can't survive in the material because they are too simple as spirits. They are an individuated braiding of a handful of mutilated spirits. And all the conflicted interactions of forces and drives in the material would tear them apart. She writes that humans travel through the ether when they teleport. They become thought, idea, and spirit. And it is the anchoring of great spirits to the land at magic circles that draw humans back to their bodies and their home plane. She wonders at the possibility and potential that a human could short-circuit teleportation to stay in the ether, and whether they could then touch a god or the loom itself. Above the table, Sarah, you better stop.
Better stop what?
You better stop with the lore.
Better stop
You
what?
better stop with this lore.
I made a mystery.
That's gonna turn into a monstrosity.
That's what I'm saying. What in the Lovecraftian horror is about to pop out?
Exactly.
What do rocks have to do with anything?
What do rocks have to do with anything? I don't know.
Obviously, I'm reacting to this book in character.
Oh.
Uh,
Obviously, Sarah. Jesus.
I'm saying to like Naya, if the church is trying to put rocks in people, then what are the rocks and why is it people and why? This is scary. Kind of cool.
I think Ofelia is just going to be shaking her head as she's biting into the apple she has.
I wonder how this relates to maybe these stones that you both have said.
Basilites.
I just wonder what it means and if this is a place where maybe instead of magic circles being anchored in places, maybe you can actually bring magic circles to places and people. I don't know.
Naya, you say you haven't seen these rocks before, right?
Correct.
Are you sure?
I'm not, actually. Could I make a history check?
Yeah, you can.
Because I'm like, I don't think according to my backstory, I don't know. But maybe I missed something in my own backstory. Okay, wait. Okay, solid history roll.
Nice.
Solid history roll. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never left Ayadir before this.
Right.
So you would never have seen them in your town. After you found this on Uneza, you started noticing them on people in Rovigo and in the other towns that you passed through. Not a ton. Every once in a while, you'd catch a glimpse of a little something just peeking up above a collar. And these looked like normal people going about their business, but there's nothing in your history that would tell you anything about this.
Emmett, no, I haven't seen these before. Not in my hometown, not in my village.
Just making sure.
I think I'm just wondering, it seems like these stones change people fundamentally, right? Because Uneza was completely different from the way that she was. And I'm just concerned that what the church is trying to do is, humans are thought, idea, spirit, I don't know, just by changing something in the spirit and gods needing followers or worshippers, or I don't know, trying to connect with that somehow, but obviously in a more twisted way.
Would Emmett have noticed like this rock on Castor or anything?
Ooh, you were so panicky that day. Like, there's so much going on, and you had just seen him for the first time that I don't think that you wouldn't have been looking for it. So I don't know that you would have necessarily noticed anything.
Right. Well, I'm gonna be worried about it now.
Now, when you wake up to this thunderstorm, you realize you have actually approached that storm that you have seen from a distance, and you have entered it. What do you guys do after you wake up?
Did you guys all also have that weird dream?
Yeah.
You know it.
I think when Emmett wakes up, the hammock like hurts Emmett's back, and so as soon as she wakes up, she feels that, not like the searing pain from the dream, but she feels that her back is aching, and she just kind of jolts up, and she's like, ugh, no, I don't like that.
I'm just gonna rub my eyes. What? I don't know. Do you guys feel like there has to be some sort of message here? Is this a warning? Are we? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either, but I wonder if it's the dreams are going to get stronger and stronger the closer we get to this chaos shrine. As Naya kind of continues to curl up in her hammock, she's quite comfortable.
After Naya says that, Ofelia doesn't feel very sleepy, so she's actually going to come down from her hammock and go to Emmett because she heard her make a cry of pain. So I'm just going to sit as best as I can next to you, Emmett. I'm just going to try like rubbing your back and just saying, it's okay. Can I make some sort of insight check? Did the dream feel like a warning, or did it just feel like something to make us scared?
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check. You could do insight or arcana.
You know what? I'm going to do arcana just to keep things different. Like, what is the nature of this dream? And I'm going to say 18.
Oh, dang, okay. You reflect back on this dream. There are parts of it that are very much dreamlike. And dreaming of sharing a spinal column with two other people is weird in that way that dreams are weird and upsetting. But there is something about the call to you that you can hear, that you heard in both dreams, that tingles this newly awakened part of yourself that recognizes the use of magical power. So there is something about this dream that is definitely magical, even if it feels like that is superimposed on top of what is just a dream.
Did that voice sound like a person or something like otherworldly?
I think everything seemed otherworldly in the dream. I don't think I can distinguish there.
I think I'm going to voice this out loud. I'm guessing Naya's just peering from the hammock, and I think I'm just going to look to you both and say, definitely disturbing, but I don't know, it also feels like someone is looking for us. And remembering what Liev said about, it seems like the church wants us, and I don't even know how they found out about us, but I don't know, do you think that it's connected with Vice Chancellor Cade Collius, whoever that is?
I can only imagine. I'm not really sure what he would want with all of us or people like us. Liev seemed to be very concerned that he was going to do something with Igern. So I can only imagine maybe he's about to do something even crazier than what happened to Uneza. I don't know.
God. And I just shudder at the thought, and I think I just look outside, peering at the rain coming out.
Well, the three of you ponder this in silence as the song of Captain Song raises out above the sea. She's singing to Brea, the goddess of storms and the ocean. And as a flash of lightning strikes and the boom of thunder is almost immediately after it, so you're aware that as she is navigating you through these rocky shoals, that lightning just struck nearby, and she cackles madly and says,
Come get me, you thirsty bitch!
you guys are getting close to Hadari. Hadari is, as you read in Sadriako's book, a volcanic chain ring island. So it's where underwater volcanoes have pushed up against each other in different subduction plates. So it's all basalt and the rocks rise out of the ocean. You're pretty sure that it would be really easy to run aground here, but it's good that the Weird Sister is such a lightweight ship, and Captain Song seems to be so talented at navigating it. As she steers you through this dark and stormy night, you find yourselves approaching Hadari from its north. You actually came around and looped in from the north. You see these gigantic... It's hard to see anything, especially if you're trying to look through the storm, but when the lightning strikes, you see these very barren, jagged mountains, a whole span of them that stretch away outside of your field of vision. And what Song is doing is bringing you nearer by towards this ring of mountains, and you see in front of you that there's a cave that seems just about tall enough, if they bring down the mainsail, to be able to row the boat into it. Where are you guys on the ship as she is approaching Hadari?
Is it still storming quite a bit?
Oh yeah, it's still, yes.
Emmett is hugging, like, the big mainsail, like, thing.
The
like,
mast. The
mast, and she's just on the top of the ship, but just horrified.
Song yells, "Don't worry, little one. I won't let Bray get ya.
Okay,
We'll get you to the Highland Sea."
great.
Ophelia might have gone up to where Captain Song is steering the ship, and I think she would have stayed there looking out at the island, shielding her eyes from the rain and the wind, and just calling out, "How do you know which way to go? I can't barely see anything through this rain."
She turns to you, she winks, and she says, "Magic!"
Ophelia's just gonna decide.
Naya is probably like tapping her toes and trying to harmonize with Captain Song in some way, while also still reading through the book.
As you approach this cave, as this boat steers nimbly towards it, you can hear the slap of water hitting rocks echoing out from inside of it, and the sound of thunder bouncing around the inside of the cave as the boat approaches. But Song is a very capable navigator, so she steers the boat in, and you quickly find yourself beaching it a little bit up against a rocky shore on the interior of the cave. She lights a torch, and you can see pushed up against the cave walls boxes that are a bit dusty. They're tied down. Song grins as soon as she sees them, and you can see further along the cave wall a tunnel leading further in. Song jumps out over the edge of the boat, and she and her crew help to anchor it to a post embedded in the ground. And the crew gets to work starting to load those boxes onto this ship. But she looks to the three of you and she says, "I can take you a little bit further inland to where the calyx actually is. Would you like me to accompany you on the way in? I'll do what I can with you, but I will warn you that you might want me at the boat in case we need to make a quick escape."
But you're so cool. I want you with us all the time.
She tips her hat to you and says, "Oh, well, thank you, darling. I'd be happy to come with you. I can put my sword to use for you if that's what you need. I will let you guys know that she's got NPC stat.
Oh, okay.
She ain't powerful."
Wow.
Yeah.
How dare.
Ophelia's gonna just come up next to Naya and place a hand on your shoulder and just say, "Yes, your presence has been quite supportive, and we thank you for all of your experience so far, Captain Song. I think it would be much more sensible to have you here just in case something does go awry. I get a bad feeling. I guess if you could just point us to where the shrine may be, I think that might be more helpful."
She nods. She says, "Certainly, I can show you. This island is a ring of mountains around a central whirlpool. It's not a lake. It's not a pond, because this is not land that one would find these on, but the currents push in different directions, and it all leads to the center. That's where I would expect to find a shrine. It's not what I usually am here for. But I can show you through these cave systems to where it opens up to the calyx. So if we're ready, you can just follow me.
Sure.
Yeah.
She steps in front of you, and she's got her torch up, and she starts leading her way through this tunnel.
How do the caves look here as we're walking through?
Well, so the cave that you entered is rocky, but this tunnel that you're coming into, actually, it's smooth and almost glassy with the way that the light of the torch reflects off of it. So Song is explaining to you, this whole place is riddled with lava tubes. So the cave system is extensive and nearly impossible to map because it's always changing. We know a few of them. We know our good little spots, but you want to be careful if you're slipping into any caves here that you don't get lost.
How did you manage to find your spots? This is such a cumbersome island in some ways. Why did you choose this location for you and your crew?
She gives you a little look. She gives you an up and down glance and looks at your worn finery. She says, "Have you ever been forced to survive, little one?"
Well,
Yeah.
Before your adventures in these past few seasons.
no. I'm sure you can imagine that this has been quite different from how I usually have gone through life.
She nods sagely. She goes, "Certainly. Well, sometimes when you're forced to survive, you learn to do things you'd never expected of yourself. And if you're forced to flee, you learn how to hide." And I think she leaves it at that. So as this cave kind of wends through, it opens back up into more craggly rock. You see branches that go off, but what's nice is they're small enough, and Song is always following the biggest one, that you're not compelled to peel off or anything like that. You think it might be easy enough to find your way back, because she tells you, stick to the largest tunnel and it'll take you right back to the cave where we're moored. But eventually it opens out, and the lightning is flashing still. It's really hard to see anything. You're not actually certain what time of day it is, but Song has assured you it's the evening. And what you see before you as this cave opens out, it's almost like a valley between two rings of mountains. So this cave slopes down, the valley curves off to either side around you, but another wall of volcanic mountains rises in front of you. So you're going to have to cross this open space in order to get to, you see what she's aiming you towards is a valley between two mountains. This cave almost opens directly onto it. So if you cross this plain, she's indicating to you that she's going to be leading you down that valley. How do you guys want to attempt crossing this plain? Do you want her to douse her torch? What do you want to happen?
Naya, can you see anything out there? Does it look safe? I trust your discretion.
Naya wants to take a point a little bit more here to one, see what she can perceive from a distance. And then I think Naya would definitely stealth and try and do a little scout situation.
Amazing. Okay, give me a stealth.
All right, stealth. Don't fail me now.
Not bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
huzzah.
It's a 16 stealth for Naya. The path that Song wants you to traverse is pretty flat. It's covered in loose scree, but it's nothing you have to scramble up and over. You actually stick to the sides of that. You go around to the other side of the bigger rocks and duck down into the shadows as you're moving through to look ahead at this little valley. As these two mountains that you're moving towards loom between you, can you please give me a perception check with disadvantage because it's raining and shitty?
Tragic. Hold on. A disadvantage.
Oh, that's still not bad. The lightning flashes, and in that brief light, you catch a glimpse of something all the way up the side of the mountain. Its shape is bulbous, and there are, it looks like vines almost that whip out from the sides of it and lash in this brief flash of light, and then it goes dark again, and you can't see it anymore.
Ew.
Nah. Sarah.
Yes.
No.
Sarah.
That's nicest runs.
Yes, that's what you see.
Sarah.
You don't have any impression of what it is because it's all silhouette and harsh light against dark shadow.
Of course. I respect that.
You just see something weird and eldritch and squamous.
Squamous? I don't like that word.
I know.
That's a big one in the cosmic horror circles, is squamous.
Ew.
Squamous?
So Naya waves her hands to folks to signal that there's something there, and she's just going to whisper back, I see something misshapen.
You are too far away for them to hear you. It is so loud right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, you are ahead of them, yeah.
I am ahead.
What is Naya doing? What is she saying?
I immediately look back and see how far behind they are. I heavy sigh and I just creep back over and then tell them I saw something kind of round and misshapen over there. Stay.
Like rocks?
No, it didn't look like a rock at all. It looked squishy. It looked, I don't know.
How big?
Big. Just big enough.
Song says, where'd you see it last?
Right ahead of us, if we continue going straight. Quick perception question. Does the shape and tendril-like nature of this look similar to the creature we saw in our dream?
No.
Okay.
What Song says is let me go take a look. And she hands you the torch, Naya, and she stealths off on her own.
Wait, no.
She says, I'll be right back.
Oh, God.
And she goes forward you can see her still. She's about at the same place you were, and she waits for the lightning to flash once. You don't see anything anymore. It goes dark.
Oh, no.
She waits again. She waits for the lightning to flash.
R.I.P.
She looks back at you and she shrugs. She points both her fingers towards her eyes and then crosses her arms. She's signaling to you that she doesn't see anything and shrugs. But she gestures at you like, if you guys want to come, it seems like we can go.
Can I stealth forward towards her?
Yes, go ahead and stealth forward towards her.
Don't fail me.
Let's go, Tegan.
Okay.
Emmett is gone before either of the two of you notice. Emmett is hanging out at Song's side.
The lightning flashes and you just see me appear.
You see Emmett up with Song.
I'm waving.
Emmett.
Wow, Emmett's getting really good at this. I'm so impressed.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though, Naya. Like, what if she disappears from us?
Well, you're right, but fortunately, she hasn't this time. So, and Naya proceeds to stealth back over to the group.
All right, so as you guys meet up, you wait. Song has you wait and look everywhere. She has all of you each look in a different direction and wait for another lightning strike to see if you can see anything.
I see them, I guess, doing that, and Ophelia's gonna just sigh and just say, I'm pretty sure there's another way instead of going towards a weird shape. And do I have to make a stealth check to get over there?
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
My stealth is not that great.
Not great.
So I don't know how
yeah.
this is gonna go, guys.
I want to know what it looks like when Ofelia tries to sneak when she has not good stealth.
Oh, so lucky, guys. I got a 19, which makes it a 21.
Yeah.
I think you see like Ofelia stealth. You know when cats get scared and they're like on their all fours, very low and just moving slowly. I think that's what Ofelia does.
But the good news is that like you actually managed to like sneak up on Naya.
I'm just gonna like creepily put a hand out and say, "What do you see?"
Naya's gonna shiver a little bit. I didn't know you were good at stealth either.
I'm so scared, Naya.
It's going to be okay. Probably.
Song goes, probably.
I don't feel better hearing that.
That's okay. We're here together. Definitely.
Song says, shall we continue?
I mean, I'm gonna turn to Captain Song and I'm gonna say, is this the shortest path? I mean, maybe there's another way?
She nods. She says, this is directly to the calyx.
I'm gonna make a perception check. Is there anything around me that I see? Not that great. That's gonna be a 10.
So you see this valley between these two rings of mountains. It's pretty barren. There's like some scrub in some places, not a lot of plant life. And all you can see is what you can see when the lightning flashes. It's so dark otherwise. But when you look, you see no unusual shapes. Nothing stands out silhouetted to you against the backdrop. It seems like this place where you're at is deserted.
Is it a straight shot, basically, to get to the shrine at this point?
So she's not leading you to the shrine, she's leading you to the calyx, which is the whirlpool in the middle. She says it's just over this rise that we have to crest in between these two mountains, and it'll lead you down to it.
Captain, I think we've got it from here. I'm just not sure about what we saw. And it's not that I don't think that you're capable, but I don't know what it is that I saw. And just in case it is something, if we need to make a run for it, I would much rather prefer you to be at the ship.
She nods. She says, do any of you know how to send messages the way that Liev does?
Yes, most likely it might be me.
You just send me a holler, and she points at her head, when you need me to get the boat unmoored and let me know if you're running.
Okay, absolutely.
But before she leaves, could I ask her, are you attached to that hat?
She grins and she says, oh, it's quite attached to me. But she rumples your hair again. Naya and Ofelia, she gives you each a handshake, of like a nice firm handshake, one pump. She says, I'll see you when it's time to go. Be safe.
You as well, Captain. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Captain.
She turns and heads back to the cave through which you came, leaving the three of you to discover what awaits you at the Calyx on your own. That was Annette Lee as Ofelia, Ashlyn Sparrow as Naya, and Tegan Mack as Emmett. Sara Brink was the game master. Story editing and sound design by Sara Brink. Oops All Witches is a playtest of the Witch class created for the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, produced by Fortunate Horse. For more information, visit the Worlds Beyond Number Patreon. Oops All Witches is a Dancing Stickman production. If you're enjoying the podcast and you'd like to hear more nerdy content like this, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. And be sure to tell your friends. Thanks for listening.